Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Life at Optimal episode. I'm very excited to interview Dr. Nayan Patel today. Dr. Patel is a doctor of pharmacy. He has practiced for many years. He has his own compounding pharmacy. He's recently published a book on glutathione, and he is an expert on glutathione because he has created a nanotechnology delivery system for it that no one else on the planet has created. And if you've followed me at all, you know that glutathione is very important in what we're trying to do immunologically and when we're dealing with autoimmune patients. So Dr. Patel, welcome to the show. We look forward to hearing your wisdom on glutathione and your experience as a clinician out in the field.
Thanks for having me today.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here. Why don't you share with us first, who you are, what drives you, and what your real goal as a clinician is?
Absolutely. So as a basic trait, I'm a pharmacist by nature. I've been working in the pharmacy field for over 25 years, and my passion has always been creating medication that can solve problems and not create more problems. Today, we have more medication in the world than ever before, and yet we have more sicker population than ever before. And I think we may be going the wrong direction if we listen to the wisdom of the people above us that tells us what's right for us. And my goal is to take the information that we have learned over the last 25, 30 years and see if we can move into a different direction where we can give more people a healing capacity or healing power and helping the body defend their own problems. If we can do that effectively, I think we can do a better job in having better quality of life for our patients.
Absolutely. And so one thing that can help us do that is the body's master antioxidant, glutathione. So what made you interested in glutathione, both from a study standpoint and then ultimately wanting to write a book about it?
Glutathione was not my first project. I was hired by a bunch of doctors in California to work on vitamin C. Vitamin C, as that time was known as was the major antioxidant that was available commercially, and I was given a project to work on it to make it into this unique form of liposome vitamin C, make it into a powder form, which we were succeeded in doing that in about a year and a half. But it was too cost prohibitive for me to bring into the market. And so we knew back then and said, why am I working on vitamin C? I know glutathione is way better, stronger product than vitamin C can ever be. Why can't I just work on glutathione? So I was not funded by anybody to work on glutathione. So it was self-funding. And it was a quest on myself and my team to work on a molecule that has now been able to achieve in a stable form. And so back in 2007 is when we first started working on glutathione. My only goal at that time was, can I have a stable product? Can I make glutathione stable in a water-based system where people can either take it orally or inject it or do whatever it takes, but it needs to be stable form. And so it took us about a year and a half to 2 years to get the stability of the molecule in a water-based system. And to our amazement, the stability was at room temperature. Typically, glutathione always needs to be refrigerated, no matter what products you buy over the counter today, always have to be refrigerated. And our product became stable at room temperature. And so we started using it into different molecules, different patient bases, and over the next 7 years, we found so many applications of glutathione that compelled me to say, you know what? There's so much information about glutathione, I gotta write this book out. And so I was getting questions all the time from my family. What is glutathione? What does it do for you? How is it gonna help me? And so after a few questions like those, I'm sure you get the same questions every single day. So you know what to do next, right?
Yeah.
Write a book, tell the world, this is what it is. So if they want to know more about it, read the book, and that way you get those answers. So that's what's compelled me to write the book out after listen to all my family members questioning me all day long.
Yeah, say it one time and then hand it to them, right? I don't want to repeat the same sentence 50,000 times. And that's why we make podcasts and we make videos too. So there's a content trail to say, hey, I'll send you a link, right?
As
I've got more studying to do. I can't be explaining the same thing over and over.
yes.
So interesting that you started with vitamin C first and then moved to glutathione. And there is a connection between the two, right? Because vitamin C helps with optimal glutathione recycling and glutathione uptake. So can you speak a little bit about that and how that may be incorporated into your products as well?
Oh, absolutely. So when I first thought vitamin C was an antioxidant, later I found out was vitamin C is an antioxidant low doses only, and a higher doses becomes a pro-oxidant, and hence it has been used in a number of patients with cancer therapies and things like that to use vitamin C at very high dosages. But at low dosages, it helps recycle the glutathione, and that's how it acts as an antioxidant. Glutathione molecule when it transfers the electrons, it becomes an oxidized glutathione molecule, the GSSG molecule. This GSSG molecule can accept electrons back from vitamin C type products and become GSH again, which is short form of glutathione. So vitamin C at low doses will help glutathione recycle itself and keep your body stores of glutathione higher. This is very, very important for us to understand that part. The main reason is because glutathione is very hard to produce in our body. It takes 3 amino acids, 2 enzymes to process the chemical reaction, and 1 catalyst like selenium to come together to make 1 molecule of glutathione. And once it makes that, you don't lose it just because you were out in the sun for 20 minutes. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you should have the ability to recycle itself, so keep on working over and over again as long as it can. It's like buying a piece of cloth that you just wipe your car down and then you just dump the cloth away. I mean, if that would happen, oh my God, we'll have a pile of cloths. The whole world would be littered with cloths all over the place. But instead, what we do is we wash them, we clean them, and use them again. If we had the ability to do that with every single thing that we have in our body, would be fantastic. So vitamin C is great for recycling glutathione, and hence our body doesn't produce vitamin C, so we have to get it from outside sources at all times. So that's the only part. Our product has a low dose vitamin C in there to begin with it, and as I said earlier, low dose is all you need to recycle the glutathione. High doses becomes a pro-oxidant, so I don't need the high dose vitamin C into my products.
Excellent. And as far as glutathione, if the viewers and listeners out there have read on it, they may have come across that a precursor to glutathione is N-acetylcysteine. And so a question they may have is, Doc, why should I pay more money for glutathione, whether it's your product or any other product, when I can just buy NAC? Because NAC, if you compare it to glutathione prices, regardless of which brand or product you're buying, is always cheaper. So I know the answer, but can you answer for the viewers who may have that question? Why don't we just take NAC?
Absolutely. I'll give my answer, and you can tell me what your answer is going to be as well. So let me tell you my answer. What I think NAC does, NAC provides a cysteine molecule, one of the 3 amino acids that's required in the glutathione to produce glutathione. The limiting factor is still going to be our body's ability to take the cysteine, combine them with glutamine and glycine, the 2 enzymes process, and a selenium coming together to produce 1 molecule of glutathione. Your body still has to work hard to put all those molecules together to produce glutathione. And at the end, we're still at the mercies of our own body's capacity and how much it can produce per day. Our need for glutathione is much, much larger than body can produce. And as we start aging, our needs doesn't keep on decreasing, but our ability to produce glutathione starts decreasing. So then there's a gap that starts increasing. And over time, the gaps get so big that now we have truly deficient in glutathione levels and onset of diseases starts kicking in. So to me, N-acetylcysteine is a great way to increase intracellular glutathione level. That's why FDA approved the product NAC, which is called Mucomis, as a prescription drug to increase glutathione levels inside your red blood cells. All the over-the-counter products today does not increase glutathione in your intracellular levels. They increase your levels in your plasma. That's the best it can do in your blood. Even if you take your IV therapies, it's going to increase your plasma levels. The blood levels, the RBC levels of glutathione can only be increased by NAC type product, which is a very limited amount, or for the very first time, Glutaril, the product that we came up with it when we discovered this about 12 years ago. It increases the blood levels, RBC levels, for the very first time.
And that is amazing, and that's the key to your technology, right? Or that's the technology has been key in establishing that. And when we spoke off camera, a few weeks ago, you were discussing how glutathione products over the counter other than yours will raise plasma levels, like you just said, but not red blood cell levels. And can you just explain to the listener what's the difference between plasma and red blood cells, and why we want the red blood cell levels higher?
Absolutely. This is a common thing that most of my practitioners, my doctors that I work with, have a hard time contemplating it, because if it's in your bloodstream, if you tap your blood and you measure the glutathione, if its level is high enough, why do I worry about if it's in plasma or in your blood cells? It's very important, because glutathione is produced in your red blood cells, and has the highest function is in the red blood cells. So if you measure if it goes in the plasma levels, then it doesn't give the same exact benefit. I mean, our blood is two components. The red component, when you spin it down, you'll see the red component, and on the top of it is the yellow natrium, which is what is the plasma. Today, people are taking the plasma, spin it down, and taking the plasma and injecting back into your body for stem cells and all kinds of things. And it's a great way to do those kinds of things, but plasma is not meant to transport nutrients, which are meant to be intracellular, especially glutathione type molecules. It's not supposed to transport proteins. It's there to transport water-soluble molecules only. Glutathione being a protein, it needs to be in the red blood cells to do all the work for our body. And hence, we need to increase the intracellular levels of glutathione. NAC will do it in a cheaper form, but it's not going to be enough to raise the levels that we need to. And the Glutaril, Glutaril Plus, is something that can raise your level back to normal in less than 25-30 minutes.
Wow. So we'll go to that in a second, but just so I hear you correctly, or am I hearing you correctly? You're saying essentially a red blood cell acts as an Uber for glutathione to go where it needs to go in the body to have its antioxidant effects.
Absolutely. I like the way you put it down, like an Uber.
Uber, yeah. So the red blood cells, the carrier or the Uber for glutathione to go to brain or go to the vasculature or go wherever it's needed in the body. So if we're raising plasma levels, it's kind of like you would increase glutathione in the plasma, but there's no Ubers to pick it up and take it where it needs to go. Whereas if we raise the red blood cell levels, now they've got a ride to go where they need to go. Is that a fair
Yes.
metaphor?
Well, absolutely. The metaphor is correct. And more than just the driving the medication, the timing it needs to get there. For example, if you raise your plasma levels of glutathione, it can only sustain for anywhere from 10 minutes to 2 hours maximum, because it's going to oxidize really, really fast. Versus the intracellular levels of glutathione can sustain itself for over 6 to 8 hours, sometimes up to 24 hours. Wow. So by raising the RBC levels, you have a better chance of reaching the whole body, because it's race against time as well. So plasma is not going to get there fast enough, then you just lost it.
Gotcha. So your product, you said a moment ago, raises the red blood cell levels in 15 minutes. Okay. And then you just said that it can stay elevated for hours?
Yes.
And is that, so one dose will raise it within 15 minutes and then it stays up for how many hours?
About 4 to 6 hours in the beginning.
Okay.
And with the continuous usage of glutathione, keep in mind that your body will start recycling itself over time. And when that happens, the one dose will last you from 6 hours to 8 hours to 12 hours to up to 24 hours. So eventually you may not only need to use it once a day.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And it's also important to know as humans, right? Physiology is dynamic. So you may, when you first take the product, you're raising your glutathione levels, and you may be raising them from deficiency, right? So you might take it right away, and it's going to stay in the blood the least amount of time because, hey, we need that right now all over the place. But as you take the product more consistently, you start to build reserves, and as you're healthier, you're going to keep the reserves longer. But then say you have a surgery or an injury or an infection where now there's more demand short term, those levels drop faster again, right? So there's value in understanding where your health is in the moment, and that's going to change your dosing and the amount that you require in the short term. It should be less in the long term if you're consistent and healthier overall with your whole lifestyle. And so your maintenance dose would be lower if you need a maintenance dose at all. But then if a life event comes up that inflames you more, or more oxidative stress, you may have to increase levels again for the short term.
True, absolutely. And again, we are living this more in a society where the amount of pollution is not decreasing.
Mm-hmm.
It's ever increasing. And if you have a healthy body and you're out and about doing everything that in the world that you want to do, guess what? Exposure is going to be higher as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have a healthy body, you're sitting home, then exposure is lower, but then your needs are lower. Well, if we get you healthy and now you have the energy to go out and do everything you want to do, now exposure is higher too, so you're going to need more stuff as well. So it's like, it's a good balancing act, but regardless, you still have to build up the reserve over time and then maintain the reserves. And if there is a life-altering events or surgery or even just simply exercising on a daily basis, you're going to use up a lot of the reserves on a regular basis. So you're going to keep on replenishing those all the time.
So what I'm hearing you say is this is applicable to every breathing human.
Yes, it is. And that's the good and the bad part, right? The good part is that yes, we can help every human being on this planet with this miracle molecule and get them healthy. The bad part is that every human being needs it, and I'm one person at this point. So
yeah. So if we dial in on applications, there's obviously the antioxidant application and general health application, but it sounds like this could be useful for athletes. It sounds like it could be useful for those interested in anti-aging. So could you speak a little bit about your experience with the different, say, avatars of use?
Absolutely. So we, over the last, I would say 12, 13 years at this point, we have worked with physicians all over the United States, and we have worked with athletes, Olympians, professional athletes that are competing at the highest level, both in the NFL, NBA, MLBs, you name it. And then these athletes are working out like anybody, right? They have a great workout schedule, and then they have the downtime to kind of recuperate the body. It takes anywhere from 6 to 8 hours to recuperate the body. And the next day they go at it again and again and again every single day. And when they do all these activities, they produce a lot of oxidative stress. A lot of free radicals have been produced that needs to be quenched on a daily basis. We have all seen the cold plunge, the cold tubs that people sink into it to kind of freeze your body up so it doesn't produce so much oxidative stress. And that's one way of physically doing something to your body to compress it down. Chemically, I can get rid of all this oxidative stress with just glutathione. So the athlete uses for post-recovery as well. But majority of my patients are not athletes, right? 99% of the patients are not athletes. They're getting up in the morning, they're rushing to work, they're drinking a coffee because they need to pep themselves in the morning. Mm-hmm. They work all day long, they come home to kids and the moms and everybody else that say, I need your attention, I need to do this, I need to do that, the garage, clean the backyard, whatever, right? It's a daily lifestyle. And there's no downtime for average person today when they come home or they go to work, and their needs are going to be the same, if not more, because guess what? They're not eating healthy diet. They're not exercising regularly. They are, their average exposure to toxins is much higher than anybody else out there. And so their need are always going to be there. And then only thing we want to see is that can we delay the onset of diseases? Because as we know, when the levels of oxidative stress increases in your body, the onsets of diabetes comes in, the onset of cancer comes in, infections comes in. And so it's, can we say the glutathione is going to cure all these problems? The answer is no. But the key is if I can remove the causation of this onset of diseases, then we have a better chance of delaying it for longer periods of time. And so the best thing we can do is not to fight the problem. Who wants to deal with the cancer? I want to avoid cancer. Who wants to deal with infection? I want to avoid infections, right? Mm-hmm. So the key is always going to be is, can I keep my body healthy enough to fight its own problems so we don't take the pills to fight the problems for me? And you said earlier, right? I'm a pharmacist. I make my living by selling pills. And I'm telling everybody, I said, no, pills are not going to save you anything. It's only thing it's going to is delaying the inevitable. Mm-hmm. Okay. So my goal today is if I can get all my patients healthy, all my patients saying that, hey, if I cannot control your stress, if I cannot control your oxidative stress, I'm going to give you something to nullify that, so that if you're going to get some sort of disease related to oxidative stress, I'm going to delay it for further down the road. And that's the best hope I have at this time.
Absolutely. Maximizing the quality of life in the years we have. All right. So inevitably, there's a group out there that are biohackers, right? And they're probably interested in, well, I love that you can increase red blood cell levels, and that's more important than plasma levels. But Dr. Patel, what should my red blood cell level be?
Okay, so then the normal range is between 500 millimoles per liter to up to about 1,000 millimoles per liter. That's the average, right? Mm-hmm. Now, you know how they found the average. Of course, you know how to find the average. They take 100, they take 1,000 patients. They ask you, do you feel normal? If the answer is yes, let's tap your levels. If your level is 500, hey, at 500, this person is normal. The second person, are you normal? Oh yeah, what's your level? The level is 1,000. So that's how they find the normals. But the normals are not the correct normals. With our product, we are able to raise within 30 minutes the levels of glutathione back to 900 or to close to 1,000 within a very short amount of time, and sustain that growth for about 4 to 6 hours. And so that's what we have found out as to what the glutathione levels can be at. But that's the range. That's what we want to shoot for as much as possible.
So above 900 is what you want, between 900 and 1,000?
Yes, that's what we're shooting for.
Okay, excellent. And so I don't want to leave out the anti-aging or the skin impacts, because, you know, oxidative stress is what drives the degradation of skin quality. It promotes wrinkles. Gray hair is literally you viewing oxidative stress happening over time. So there is application for the glutathione in the anti-aging or in the skincare space, because literally our outside appearance is a reflection of the oxidation happening inside. So tell us a little bit about the application in that field.
So you just nailed it right there, right? The highest application today in the world for glutathione is in the skin application. And the reason is because the exposure, your skin is so far gone away from the natural healthy looking skin, because it's constant exposure to the environmental toxins on a daily basis. So your skin has discoloration, has wrinkles, has age spots, have, you know, the texture is not that great, it's getting thin all the time. So all those things, I mean, even if you take capsules of glutathione, yes, you're not going to get 100% better, but you're going to see some changes in your skin the whole time. And it hasn't never been used on the clinical application is because you need much, much higher levels in the RBCs to see the clinical applications for the medical community. So being said that, I don't want to negate the need for the skin as well, because our skin is a reflection of what our organs are inside. And by raising the glutathione level, if you're going to see results in 3 to 4 months with taking a capsules formula of glutathione, you can see the results in probably less than half the time the topical version of the glutathione, because the levels are going to get faster and higher in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, because basically, if you're taking it orally, then you have to hope that the Uber makes it to your face to help your skin, right? And Uber's driving by all kinds of demands to get to the skin. Whereas if you apply it topically, you can skip all of that and you're putting it right where you want it if you're someone that's interested in using it for a skin application. And so your technology has allowed it to be applied topically and absorbed efficaciously so that you can see quick results. And I just want to applaud you for the work you've done to bring that to market and create that option. And also, when we're talking about skin, do you have experience in using it for wound care? Or scars or
not so much for wound care, because an open wound requires something that is sterile. But if there's a cut and scars, old scars and keloids, in fact, we just had a call in yesterday from a physician that he's been using it, and he had surgery keloids from back 20 years ago. And for the first time, he could feel his keloid being fibrous. So it's like moving. I said, "Oh my God, this was like a log, you know." And all of a sudden, it's thin and it's moving. So he was so excited about this thing. And of course, it's mainly for the scars, right? If you have a scar, you're cutting your skin up. The lymphatic drainage system under your skin is disrupted. How do we re-link those together and detoxify your skin on an ongoing basis? The scar is just that toxins are getting accumulated at the scar cell, so you're always itching by the scars and things like that. Glutathione will help you reduce that and help reduce the scars as well. So it is a long process, but it's healing from within inside your skin to outside. So it just takes a little bit longer, but it does do that.
Excellent. What am I missing? What have we not discussed that you want to discuss in terms of application? You know, you're the creator, so you know.
The thing is, I would like to give the audience also a way to increase the glutathione levels without buying my product, because that'll be ideal, right? If you can do the same thing without taking any supplementation, can I do that part? And when you're young, you should be able to do that, because in my book, I have 14-day plan to increase your glutathione levels. The main thing is all in your diet. You have your healthy fats, you have your vitamins, your proteins, but don't forget that all those proteins that you take, one of the major proteins is also glutathione, which you can get from avocados and cabbage and all these other natural sources to increase your glutathione levels. So please do not assume that if I have the topical solution, it's going to solve all the problems, and go back on an unhealthy diet. So right. Diet has to come first, unfortunately.
Yes. And so where can they find your book and get their hands on that 14-day plan?
The book is available on major retailers of Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and everywhere else. Yep, that's the one. If they don't like to read the book, there's an Audible version. So if you're an Amazon Prime member, the Audible version is for free, I believe so. So please get those. There's a PDF version as well. So there's multiple ways. It'll keep my publisher very happy.
Yeah. Yes. And what if they do want to try the product? Where can they find that?
They can find the product. I know that you have the product in your office as well, but they're more than welcome to come on my website at aurowellness.com, AURO wellness.com. And when you do get this product, please put Dr. John's name on that thing as a referring physician, because we would like to know that you were listening on this podcast and you heard from us.
Yeah, so you can put Dr. Bartemus in there when you purchase. And we'll put the link in the show notes as well so that you can get there from here if you'd like to. And Dr. Patel, anything else you want to leave us with? I want to say thank you for your 25 plus years of hard work and for never being satisfied with what you've done, but always trying to grow and help humanity at a higher level. So thank you for that. Thank you for creating a product that helps us get there without adding toxicity to our lives. And how would you like to sign off?
I would like to sign off by one simple statement. I always believe in one thing. We cannot fight all the problems for our body. Let your body fight its own problems. Just give them the tools it needs to do so. And glutathione is the biggest arsenal biggest ammunition that our body needs on a daily basis. So please give it to your body so it can fight its own problems. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to this Life at Optimal episode. Please share it widely and let your friends and family know that Dr. Patel has a solution for them.
Thank you.